will we all escape the dangers ahead? Dangers ahead. Everybody's praying from all angles. Everybody's doing everything possible from all angles. There are more terrible issues at hand than what is called the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And the only way Nigeria can get off this is to find a way to resolve with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And this resolving is the step they are trying to take by the judgment of today. But I want to say that everything that we do in this life, we must also be cautioned. I must also be careful. I must also be wise for the days ahead. Because our lives are like Bible that is writing. That was why the people in the Bible, in the Old Testament, you have King Solomon, you have different kings that have existed. Whatever judgment they pass in the past, we are all written. For what? For the purpose of the people in the future. And what was the judgment of the people of old? 2 women had children at the same time. One lost his baby as a result of the way she slept on the baby, and the baby died. The other one's baby was alive. And one stood up and take the baby of the living one to put on her side, and take the dead one and put to the other one. And when the other one screamed up and woke up and looked at it, they said, "No, this is not my baby. My baby is the one alive." The other one said, "No, the one dead is your baby. The one alive is my baby." And they now said, okay, the matter has become a big issue. And they dragged this matter, dragged themselves, and they go to King Solomon. Remember, King Solomon is the son of the man called David. And don't forget that David is a man after God's heart. Don't forget that David is a wise man. David is a man that has been blessed by the Lord, and the seed must be a blessed seed. And so, David's son, being a Solomon, now look at everybody. Look at the way the person that was, claiming the baby that is alive, and the one that was claiming, the one that said is my baby, and the other one that was trying to claim. And the king said, okay, I have a judgment. And what does judgment? That judgment is a judgment that if the king passes that judgment wrongly, the king may end up bringing shame. The king may end up bringing everlasting issue that will be written at the board, that everyone that comes in life to come will always say, oh, King Solomon made a mistake or did the right thing. So the king looked at the whole situation and he came up with an idea. He said, right now, the way it is, I'm going to divide the living baby into 2. And I will give half portion of the baby to you. And I will give half portion of the baby to you, so that we know that you have half portion and this one have the half portion. And immediately, instantly, the one that was claiming the baby, that has lost his child, but was looking for a way of escape, but was finding a way to see how he can be able to now dodge and also cause what's called the death of another person's child. He said, oh, what a wonderful judgment, my Lord. Cut the baby into 2 and give me half. Let the other woman take half. And the king looked at her and he said, good, you have accepted the judgment. And the king looked at the other one and said, what is your opinion? Because right away as I'm speaking to you, look at the sword in my hand. I want to cut this baby into 2. And when I cut the baby into 2, I'm going to give half to you and half to this other woman. Permit me to do that, because your second who claimed that is the child has permitted me. So what are you saying? And the woman looked at the baby and looked at herself. And she cried. Ewetere m egbe ka mgbagbo nwanne m, obi nwanne mere m. Mgbe ewetere m mma ka mgbagbo nwanne m, obi nwanne mere m. Ewetere m mma ka mgbagbo nwanne m, obi nwanne mere m. Ewetere m mma ka mgbagbo nwanne m, obi nwanne mere m. Ewetere m mma ka mgbagbo nwanne m, obi nwanne mere m. Ewetere m egbe ka mgbagbo nwanne m, obi nwanne mere m. One them, obi one them. Monday, Obi Monday, I will tell them, come up on Monday, Obi Monday, I will tell them, come up on Monday, Obi Monday, Obi Monday, Obi Monday, Obi Monday, Eloah. I will tell them, come up on Monday, Obi Monday, I will tell my arrow, come Monday, Obi Monday. I will tell them, come up on Monday, Obi Monday. Obi Monday, Obi Monday, Obi Monday, Obi The mother of the child looked at the king and looked at the sword of the king and looked at the baby that is at hand. And the mother concluded and said, my lord, the king, long live the king. King, please, instead of killing this baby, for this baby to also be dead like the other baby, I will prefer that you give the child to the one that is claiming the baby. Let the baby be alive in her hand and let the baby grow. When the baby grows, we will see the resemblance of the baby. But for me to accept for you to kill the baby, the mother said, no, my heart will not accept. And he said, Chukwu bụ Chukwu na-eme mma ahụ nwanne m a ị ga-ebu nwa Chukwu ị ga-emebi ibe dị ya Achukwu bụ Chukwu na-enye ndụ hapụ nwanne m hapụ nwanne m kọla So this matter lingered and gave the king the clue to pass the final conclusion of the matter. So to let everything, the way the Lord has opened the eyes of the major prophet, the matter will settle completely. The matter will settle completely. But in a place where you see the adults are there, Adult will never ever accept what anybody says. Adult will look at things and use the eyes of the adult to say what they want to say because of what they want to achieve. But at the end, peace will reign and everything will return. There will be total freedom and everybody will have peace in the name of Jesus. So let us advance to next level. Another issue that the Lord has given to major prophet is that we are in the era that everybody must continue to pray. When we talk about prayer here and we talk about what people must do, so many people do not understand because, in life, that is what's called a generation. That's what's called what is going to happen in generation. And generations will come and go. Another one comes and go. Another one comes and go. We have a generation, especially starting from the day one of what's called from the day one of what's called this very administrations of what's called the era of democracy, coming from the era of military rule in Nigeria, and now we are in the era of what's called democracy. There are many things that will unfold in this era of democracy. There are many things that will go the other way around in this era of democracy. And the only way the people of the country can be able to stand on their ground and take what belongs to them is by prayer. And everybody must have what's called the spirit of resilience, the spirit of oneness, the spirit of moving forward, the spirit of concentrating and also seeking peace and also fighting for what is just. Because I have come to realize as a prophet of God, it is only when you are fighting for a just cause that you will fight at the end of it all, you will win the matter. But when you are fighting for unjust cause, you find it very difficult to win the matter. So we are in era, and this era of democracy. Another era is coming. Another era is coming. Write the date down. Write the time down. Write the prophecy. Another era, another phase is coming. Now we are in the era of democracy, coming all the way from 1999. From 1999, the era of this very democracy we are in has been going from 1999 to 2004. From 2004 to 2008. 2008 to 2011. 11 to 15. 15 to 19. 19 to 23. 2023 to now 20. Going to 2027. We must understand that in every era, there are many things that will happen. There are many things that will happen. There are many things that will stand. And there are many things that will be confronted. And there are many things that will be handled. So this era is a very critical era that every one of us must know that we owe the whole country prayers. We owe our regions prayer. We owe our people prayer. We owe the entire country and everybody in the country, the citizens of the country, we owe them prayer. And what is the prayer going to do? The prayer is what we are going to use to paralyze forces and powers that want to destroy. Because every era has its own challenge. Every dispensation has its own challenge. The dispensation of this democracy that we are in have a challenge of terrorism here and there. Have a challenge of a lot of people, a lot of souls here and there. But the prayer is that the right problem should be tackled from the root, and the right issue should be attended to. And this can only happen when we pray and God has finally touched the heart that need to do that job, the heart that need to do that work, the heart that need to confront the issue, the heart that need to be in charge and do what is needful. That is the only time we can be able to have that victory that is called the desired victory. So, major prophet, I'm committed to making sure that I lead in prayers and I lead in standing the gap. At the end of it all, the will of God and the will of God alone is what must be done. And I want to tell you that most of the times, many things are done to bend people. Many things are done to oppress people. Many things are done to cause people to bow and also to agree to an ideology that they do not accept. But at the end of it all, as we keep on praying, as we keep on fighting to the glory of God and asking the Lord to help us in this battle against evil, in this battle against destruction, in this battle against negativity and everything that is happening here and there, as we keep on praying and we keep on following up and we keep on standing the gap and we keep on looking unto God, God is in heaven and God will not forsake his people. God will never abandon his people. According to the book of Corinthians, 1 Corinthians, the Bible said there's nothing that comes to us that is more than what a man has faced in life. So whatever is coming to us, God has already made a way of escape. And at the end of it all, we will surely escape from the way of escape. To escape the condemnation, escape destruction, escape the evil, and escape all of evil agenda, so that the people of this country can breathe in and have the right that belongs to everybody. We can be able to now breathe well again. We can be able to move well again. We can be able to live well again. And we can be able to say, oh yeah, the will of God has come to pass. God has answered the prayer. God has become our help and God has delivered us. Because there is time for everything. And when the time of what is written comes, when the time of what is ordained comes, when the time of what is penciled down comes, there's nothing a man can do about it. And he must not even need anybody's concept for that which God has ordained to come to pass. The only thing God may do is to reveal to his servant the prophet. Our prophet will see that the time has come. There is time for everything under the sun. A time to oppress, and a time for the oppressed to be free. A time for bondage, and a time that bondage will leave he that is bound. A time to cry, and a time to laugh. A time to be born and a time to be dead. A time to rejoice and a time to be sad. A time for the sun to arise and a time for the night for the sun to fall, to go back. A time for rain to give rain and a time for dry season to dry up whatever the rain has watered. Time for everything that happeneth under the sun. Appointed time for everything. And that's why the Bible also stated it, that is appointed unto a man once to die, and after the death comes judgment. Why? Because there is a time under the sun for everything that is under the sun. Even the God in heaven has put time to time all his creations. And don't forget that even when God was creating the heaven and earth, the Bible made it very clear that on the first day, God created the heaven and earth, the second day, the third day, the fourth day, the fifth day, the sixth day, and on the seventh day, the Lord rested of all his work. Why? Because there is time to rest and time to work. There is time for everything under the sun. So we all pray and await for the right time of the Lord and what the Lord has ordained and what is written to come to manifestation. Whatever is written will surely come to manifestation. Whether in this time or in tomorrow, whatever the Lord has written must surely come to pass. That's why they sang that song and they said, whatever the Lord has written must come to pass. Whatever the Lord has written must come to pass. Whatever the Lord has written must come to pass. Whatever the Lord has written must come to pass. Whatever the Lord has written must come to pass. Whatever the Lord has written must come to pass. It must come to pass. It must come to pass. It must come to pass. Whatever the Lord has written must come to pass. Whatever the Lord has written must come to pass. Whatever the Lord has written must come to It must come to pass. 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 Whatever the Lord has written must come to pass. Whatever the Lord has written must come to pass. Whatever the Lord has written must come to pass. Whatever the Lord has written must come to pass. It must come to pass. It must come to pass. It must come to pass. Whatever the Lord has written must come to pass. Whatever the Lord has written must come to pass.